So last lecture we have discussed section 9.1 in detail. Now let's look at section 9.2. Section 9 subsection 2 talks about the central tax on supply of petroleum crude. This is the first product. High speed diesel, second product. Motor spirit, commonly known as the petrol, third product. Natural gas, fourth product. And aviation turbine fuel, which is used for aircraft, aeroplane, fighter planes. So they use aviation turbine fuel, which is highly inflammable, having high power obviously, shall be levied with effect from such a date. So they are not saying GST shall not be levied on petroleum product. They are saying it will be there, but from such a date as notified by the government. So the date will be notified by the government on a recommendation of council. So what I was trying to tell you in earlier lecture only, that on petroleum product, government wanted to bring GST. Now the whole game is upon council, and council comprises majority members of state government. Therefore, unless and until all state governments comes together to have a consensus that okay, let's bring GST on petroleum product, it is not going to happen. Okay. Now there is a fight between section 9.1 and section 9.2. Why? Section 9.1 says all. Please understand now. Section 9.1 says, please understand what section 9.1 is saying. The basic language of section 9.1 says GST is levied on, please understand, GST is levied on all intrastate supply of goods and services or both, except supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Now, other than alcoholic liquor for human consumption, everything else is taxable. This is what is written in section 9.1. And section 9.2 says GST shall be levied from future date, which will be notified by the central government on a recommendation of council. So there is a conflict between 9.1 and 9.2. Whenever there is a conflict between 9.1 and 9.2, who shall win? Who is having more power? So please understand, this language, the opening paragraph is giving more power to subsection 2. Subject to provisions of subsection 2. Subject to provisions of subsection 2 means more power is given to subsection 2 than section 1. Therefore, you should understand, if subsection 2 permits subsection 1 to levy GST on petrol, then only it will be applied. If subsection 2 doesn't permit, then it will not be levied on petroleum product. Now, the opposite language of subject to provision is this: notwithstanding. Notwithstanding words override other provision. No, the opposite of subject to. These are two opposite. Subject to and notwithstanding, these two are opposite phrases which are used by law to give excessive power to one particular provision than other provision. So whenever they wanted to write powerful section, they write notwithstanding. This is overriding provision. And whenever we say subject to means the power is given to some other section. If that section permit, then you follow the law written by subsection 1. So here, please understand, the power is given to subsection 2 by this phrase, subject to provision of subsection 2, all intrastate supply is taxable, and therefore whatever is written in subsection 2 is not taxable under subsection 1. Alright. Now usually tax is paid by, please understand, usually tax is paid by usually in section 9.1 tax is paid by supplier. In section 9.1 tax is paid by taxable person. And taxable person usually is a supplier. So please understand, friend, when Vodafone is giving telecom services, When Vodafone is giving telecom services to many subscribers like you and me, so together we all are called as recipient, and Vodafone is called as supplier. So whenever Vodafone collects bill from me, say for example that bill is 1,000 rupees, value is 1,000 rupees. On that value they put a GST 1,800 rupees, 180 rupees. So total they will take 1,080 rupees. Okay. So 1,180 rupees is taken by Vodafone. Out of that, 1,000 will be kept by supplier and 180 will be paid to the government. 180 will be paid to the government. So this is what you need to understand. By default, who pays the tax to the government? By default, supplier pays the tax to the government. I am not saying who takes the burden of tax. See, burden of tax is passed by supplier on the recipient. And that's one of the feature of indirect tax that we have already discussed, that a supplier is having a right to pass on the burden to the recipients. And therefore, you need to understand, a very common phenomena here, that in any indirect tax law, hello, yeah. So please understand, some of your friends have not joined the uh, this particular lecture. So please intimate them that lecture is already commenced. Okay. So usually supplier pay the tax to the government. Obviously, supplier recover this tax from this final consumer. This is how GST operates. But sometimes it happens. What happens, sir? Let's take an example of section 9.3 now. Few examples of section 9.3. In India, there are various agents. These are the insurance agent of, say for example, LIC. LIC is one of the biggest insurance company in India. All these are agents. All these agents are providing services to LIC, any insurance company for that matter. Now, so far as government of India is concerned or tax authorities are concerned, you please tell me, will it be easy to recover tax from lakhs and crores of suppliers or only one LIC? Come on, tell me. If LIC is having few crore LIC agent, so please tell me, is it easy to recover tax from suppliers or LIC? Please reply. LIC. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gaurang. Siddhi. Amol, thank you. So why is it this? Because sir, these are like in quantity, they are too many and they are very small people, sir. LIC as a company, as a corporate, it's a very big organization. And therefore, section 9.3 gives power to central government to put RCM, reverse charge mechanism. Usually tax is paid by supplier. Exceptionally, tax is paid by recipient. Please understand, usually tax is paid by supplier, exceptionally tax is paid by recipient, and those exceptions have origin in section 9.3. And finally, which goods or which services are taxable under RCM will be defined or will be notified by the government. And obvious language is there, government can notify this only on recommendation of council. Okay, So look at the language of section 9.3, legal language, please. The government, so power is given to government, parliament has nothing to do with it. Parliament has given the exclusive power to government. Government may, on a recommendation of GST Council, by a notification, specify categories of supply of goods and services or both, the tax on which shall be paid under reverse charge basis by the recipient. Oh, the tax will be paid by recipient. So, sir, normally who pays tax? Sir, normally taxable person pays tax on such goods and services or both, and all the provision of this act shall apply to such a recipient as if he is the person liable for paying tax in relation to supply of goods and services. So maintenance of record, filing of return, issuance of invoice, everything will be applicable to recipient now as if he is the supplier. Okay. So look at the summary notes created by us. Section 9.2 talks about, sir, CGST on supply of petroleum crude, high-speed diesel, motor spirit, commonly known as the petrol, natural gas and aviation turbine fuel. On this 5 petroleum product, it will be levied, it shall be levied with effect from such a date as may be notified by the central government on a recommendation of council. And what is there in section 9.3? Section 9.3 talks about reverse charge. So on reverse charge, who pays tax? A recipient will pay tax. Government, on a recommendation of council, by notification, specified categories of supply of goods and services, both goods and services. Please understand, our syllabus is focused on services. So far as reverse charge is concerned, our syllabus is focused on services, but there is a reverse charge on goods as well. Practically, the reverse charge is on both certain goods and certain services. The tax shall be paid on reverse charge basis by the recipient, and who all are going to pay tax under reverse charge mechanism are notified under this particular notification, which we read as notification number 13/2017 CTR dated 20th June 2017. Please try to by heart whatever we have written till here, then I will go ahead. Okay. So section 9.3 reverse charge mechanism on notified services. Please understand, our syllabus is focused on services, but as I told you, the reverse charge is applicable on goods as well as on services. The notification number 13/2017 CTR means Central Tax Rates dated 20th June 2017. This notification number is like a section number, friends, and therefore it is very important that you should remember the notification number as well. We are going to refer it again and again. For GTA, we are having special note. For GTA, we are having special note. But as I told you, I have told you one story about GTA in direct tax. When I was teaching you income tax, I have told you one story. I hope you remember that we don't mess up with them. Okay, whatever they say, government agrees, because if you don't agree, they declare all over India hartal. So that's what we don't want to do, and therefore it is very difficult to recover taxes from GTA. First of all, GTA means goods transport agents, transporter companies. They are not sophisticated one. They are not, well versed with law, and they are gunda type of people. So recovering tax from them is always difficult and challenging. But these people are supplying goods to Videocon or Onida or Samsung or Maruti or many, maybe ONGC, big companies, big corporates. And therefore, what government is saying, instead of recovering taxes from supplier, let's recover tax from the recipient. And therefore, GTA services are usually in reverse charge mechanism. Exception is there that I will be teaching you directly from study material. There is a special chart for GTA services. But please understand, whenever we put a reverse charge mechanism, the person who is liable to pay tax is a recipient. That recipient has to be in a taxable territory, and the taxable territory means he should be or it should be located in India. If the recipient is located outside India, then reverse charge mechanism will not operate. For an example, a GTA is supplying transportation of goods services from India to Nepal. Now, India and Nepal are landlocked countries, therefore, a truck can supply goods from India to Nepal, and the person who is liable to pay freight, is a recipient in Nepal. So, please understand, a government of India cannot recover taxes from Nepal. Therefore, they are saying in such circumstances, a reverse charge mechanism will not attract. In those circumstances, forward charge will apply. Forward charge will apply. Vaibhavi, are you trying to say something? If not, if you want to say something, please put it in chat box. I'm not able to hear you. Okay. So let's continue. So the reverse charge is applicable only when GTA provides services to specified person. That list is also there in model. I'll show you factory, company, corporates, body corporates. So those things are there. Okay. And this person is liable to pay freight. Okay. It is also difficult to recover tax from advocate. See, GST law has given a lot of favor to advocates. Majority of their services are exempt. You will understand this point in detail. These 2 points. These are 2 legal services, advocate and arbitral services, arbitral tribunal services. Both are having majority exemption. Majority of their services are exempt already. There are only few services which are taxable only when arbitral tribunal and advocate, when they are providing services to business entities in India. Whenever advocate and arbitral tribunal is providing services to business entities in India, the liability to pay tax is on business entities, not on advocate. Please understand what I'm trying to say is 90% plus services are exempt. 90% plus services are exempt. Only 10% services are taxable, and that too taxable on reverse charge basis. Okay, so this is what you need to understand here. The point number 4 is any person providing sponsorship services to body corporate or partnership firm. Here what we should understand, if you have seen IPL matches, you might have seen Vodafone Superfan, or whenever there is a 2020 match between India, Sri Lanka and all these countries, so they say ye laga BSNL chauka. So please understand, BSNL, Vodafone, Vivo, Oppo, these companies, they sponsor these events. And by sponsoring this event means they are provide hundred of crores of rupees to this event management company, so that they can advertise their product whenever this match happens. Like in IPL, I guess this year, Oppo or Vivo has won the sponsorship. I don't know, somebody has won the sponsorship, and by paying a huge amount of rupees so that they can advertise their product when this match is going on. Dream 11, yeah, Dream 11 has won this. Dream 11 has won over the Oppo and Vivo, so they were the top competitors, I guess. So Dream 11 is the person who is going to receive these services, and this IPL match management, they are going to provide these services. Now this event is held for short term, and in that short term, government may not be able to recover taxes from the person who is providing advertisement services. But Dream 11, Oppo, Vivo, Videocon, Vodafone, all these corporates will be there before the event, during the event, and even after the event, and therefore recovery of taxes from these body corporates and partnership firms will be more easier than recovering taxes from any person. And therefore, government recover taxes from body corporate. There is the RCM on these services as well. This point number 5 and 5A and 5B also, okay. All these points I can explain you better in a chapter called exemption, okay. But here just wanted to tell you, majority government services which are provided to business entity are taxable on reverse charge basis. This is what you need to understand. If a government is giving is a land and building on rent to a business entity or a registered person, then reverse charge will be applicable. Okay. If landowner is giving his development right to a builder, then the tax will be paid by builder. Say for in Mumbai, there is one area now which is developed by Lodha builder. Maybe Lower Parel and that area is developed by Lodha builder. So a lot of these chawl member or slum member, they come together, they hand over their land to the builder. Now recovering taxes from those slum people will be very difficult. Recovering tax from the landowner will be very difficult. Therefore, government is recovering tax from the builder. This is a basic understanding you need to have for reverse charge. A detailed discussion we are going to take on the services in exemption chapter. Okay. Next, people. Now in India, you need to understand in India, we are having more corporates and less number of, more number of directors and less number of corporates. These directors are providing. Now, the director is not employee director. This is a independent director or non-executive director. Director is providing services to company or body corporate. You might have learned in your company's act, to incorporate a private limited company, you need to have minimum 2 directors. To incorporate a public limited company, you need to have minimum 3 directors. So though the directors are providing services to company, so the directors are individuals. Recovering taxes from this individual is again challenging task, and therefore government is saying instead of recovering taxes from directors, let us recover taxes from the company or body corporates. Similar thing is there with insurance agent. Recovering taxes from insurance agent is difficult, so they are recovering taxes from insurance company. Same thing goes with the recovery agent, bank recovery agent. Whenever you take loan from the bank and you don't pay that loan on time, so bank appoints a recovery agent to recover maximum amount of loan. And I always say this in a sarcastic way, it will be very difficult to recover tax from recovery agent because they know how to play with government. So we don't go behind the recovery agent. We are taking tax from banks and non-banking financial companies and financial institutions, NBFCs and all. Okay. So it is easier to recover tax from banks rather than recovery agent. Now in India, we are having music composers. A lot of music composers are there. They create music like A.R. Rahman. Okay, they create music. They write a song. They write a poetry, and then they give it to particular music company. Maybe T series. Maybe there are more than 5, 6 bigger company, bigger organization in India as of now. Same thing goes with the publisher. If I write a book on taxation, I can't publish it my own. If I publish it my own, nobody will purchase. But if I go to the Manan publication, state publication, Bharat publication, so these publishers are having their all India contacts through which a book can be sold to a many people. So what I will do, I'm a author. I will create a book. That copyright of book I will give it on lease to the publisher, and then publisher will sell these copies to the market. So we are having thousands of singers, artists, writers, authors. You understand? So these people are providing services. What kind of services they are allowing? That they are allowing to use their creation by these producers and music company. And therefore, the tax collection is very difficult from the small entities, but it is very easy from this large entities. But right now with an amendment, please understand the amendment. As per amended law, earlier it was a mandatory to be mandatorily under reverse charge mechanism. Before amendment, this particular point was under mandatory reverse charge mechanism. Now this is under optional reverse charge mechanism. Say for example, you have also written book on taxation and I have also written books on taxation. But you are not registered under GST law. So government cannot have any faith on you whether you will pay GST or not. So on your services, there will be reverse charge mechanism. But because I'm a registered tax person already under GST, I'm a chartered accountant, I have my CA practice. Apart from that, I write a book. So I can take care of my own GST compliances. So government have given choice to associates like me. Okay, in your case, you may pay tax under forward charge or you may also go for reverse charge. So same thing is here. You need to remember author. For authors, it is now optional. This is what I told you. For authors, it is optional now whether the publisher should pay tax or they should pay tax. They can pay forward charge or under reverse charge. The next point, there is one committee of RBI which provides services on foreign exchange reserves and all. So members of overseeing committee are not liable to pay tax. RBI is liable to pay tax under reverse charge mechanism. You get a lot of calls from DSAs. Now logout is going to happen. If it's logouts,